Yay.
Hey
Hey.
everybody, what is up? What's up, everybody? Hi, ladies. Okay, for everybody that's watching, you see we have a special person, okay, on the live with us, and that is Miss Robin of Ladies Who List Atlanta. Hi, Robin. How are you?
Hi, ladies. I'm wonderful. I'm so happy to be here to chit chat with you tonight.
Awesome. We are
Yes.
Thank
happy that
you.
you're here too. Can't wait to get into some things. So we're going to go ahead and just get straight started. Okay. So I do have a question, of course, and I wanted to know, how did this opportunity come about for you to be a part of this show?
So back in 2017, Monique, the producer, reached out to Crystal and pitched her idea to Crystal. But prior to her reaching out to Crystal, she was like looking through Instagram. She was looking for successful real estate agents. And in 2017, I was blowing the lid off with condos downtown. We were just coming back from a market crash. So 8 of us were selected. And the folks from LA came to Atlanta. They set up shop in an office. And we went and we visited and we did like little videos. They interviewed us and they recorded it. And when they were done deciding who they wanted, they tried to pitch the show. Nobody wanted it, though. Nobody wanted. Black women were not popular prior to the civil unrest that occurred in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the world exploded and there were riots and protests everywhere, Black people became the popular at that time. Everybody wanted to help. Everybody wanted to do something for us. So I believe she repitched it again, which was 3 years later. Like, we didn't even think it was going to happen, honestly. We had forgot about it. I mean, it wasn't in the forefront of our brain anymore because we waited so many years. And we got a call in February that we were going to be greenlit and we were going to start to film in the summer. We started late summer and then that went into like November, like right almost to Thanksgiving. Or during
So,
wardrobes change,
so
I have a,
I wanted to add on. I wonder if we were going to say the same thing, Jamie.
I
You
think so.
mentioned that 8 people were selected. Is it the same ladies that we see on TV now, or was it a different group of women?
So no, it was the same group of women. I just think that they thought 8 was too many.
Okay.
It was just too many. For the show to be 1 hour, it's really only 40 minutes of actual airtime, and then it's all commercials. So right now they're still splitting up, trying to give all 6 of us some time on the screen, and some of us get a couple more minutes than the other, really, but that's really it.
So I have a quick question based on what you said. Nobody wanted the show originally when it was being shot. Was there like a particular reason? Was it originally solely just focused on your real estate versus, some of the drama that we've seen?
I think the networks out there just didn't think that a show with Black women would be successful. I mean, I wasn't in the room when they made the decision not to accept us, but no one really wanted it. That's what I was told.
I mean, with Real Housewives of Atlanta on, and Potomac, and just and I understand that
R&B
Bravo is a
divas.
different R&B. There have been many shows of all Black female casts that have done well. So I don't know why. And I'm wondering, like, who were you guys pitching it to? That's another thing. Was it always pitched to OWN, or was it pitched to other networks originally?
So I'm not sure about how much of that I can talk about, but I know that it was at least 3 different ones that I knew of. And I think that they felt the market was already saturated with that type of look. That could be it. Maybe it wasn't that they didn't want us totally, but they was just like, we don't need no more of this because we have so much of that already.
Right.
So I'm guessing
like the black pocket was filled, and they picked y'all up when it was trendy, when they had more space and opportunity.
Yes.
When people were stuck in the house. I mean,
because I'm thinking about Basketball Wives and how that might have been like a deterrent, where people are like, we're over this era of 5 or so groups of Black women getting together to argue. You know what I mean?
That's true still till today, but I felt like the production company and the network didn't quite get that. I think that they thought they could still ride the overly dramatic train of drama. They're getting it now, though. They are getting it now. We've had repeated talks about it. They understand it more, and we tell them all the time, we were already established. A lot of these people, when reality TV first started, they weren't established already. They didn't have brands, they didn't have businesses. They didn't already have a platform where people were already visually watching them, like on Instagram and Facebook, right? So our reputation was important, and everyone knew that. But the show took a weird turn and turned into something different.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I think we'll get into that. I think we have that lined up. So I have to say, I was just telling you before, this word triggered. I felt triggered from the time that we saw the dinner. I felt like you were antagonized. We'll get into that. But I was happy whenever they gave you the scene of you practicing your yoga and you were meditating. And that's what you needed to do to draw peace, because then we were able to see you in a different light. So my question is, what are your top 3 forms of self-care?
My top 3 forms of self-care now is I spend a lot of time by myself. I find that being in big crowds or going out every day with different people, it just exhausts me. So yoga, treating my hair, like I'm big into herbal teas and natural products for my hair. People don't understand. I've always had a job and have had children since I was 16. So having this quiet space at 50 is beautiful for me. I don't have to do much. I don't want to do much. I sleep in, I wake up whenever I want. I don't have an alarm clock. My clients understand my schedule as I understand theirs. Some of my clients are only available at night. So we'll be on the phone from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Amy and Mazi, for an example. They're the 1 to 3 a.m. type of crowd. You try to get them at 9 a.m., they're not there, So we would have many conversations at night. But my top 3 self-care routines for me are yoga, working out, staying fit. I keep a trampoline, a jump rope, a handset of 20-pounders, and my trampoline. I don't have a dining room table in this condo. This is my little gym over here. And learning more of me. I do so many different personality tests on myself just to see if they all come back the same. Taking care of my family also is a part of my self-care. That may not make sense to a lot of people, but the project that I've been working on with them has brought my sister so far that, I feel good when I'm speaking to them. I make sure I speak to my sister in the morning at 7 a.m. on FaceTime, yeah, just doing what I want really is part of myself. do. I don't have no big gigantic routine, but just doing me for once. My kids are old. There's no man. This is the first time I've ever lived alone, ever in my life.
Wow. So we're really getting you at a different point in your life,
Yeah.
which is, you know, different from what it has been like for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. Also, I think it's so funny that you said that, like, oh, Robin, I just love you. Okay, so first of all, you say you jump rope. That's one of my things.
Mhm.
And I literally don't have my dining room table in my dining room right now because I work out there.
Yes. Yeah.
So like I'm like, oh my God, we have more things, you know. But okay, so my next question, because of real estate and homes, do you consider your home now your dream home? And if it is not, can you describe your dream home?
No, I have not found my dream home yet. I'm still on my way there. I think now that I'm older, I know exactly what I want in a house. And the market is just not there for me to try to do this right now. But I built a house in Atlanta and I built a house in Florida when I was deciding in which direction I was going to go. And so Atlanta became that choice. I lived in that house for 15 years. On year 10, bored. And when I get depressed, I like to take on like an activity. It makes me feel like I'm doing something, even though I'm only paying the contractor and he's doing everything. Going to the paint store, having some input, looking at stuff, it just made me feel like I was doing something. So I literally revamped that entire house, floors, walls, stairs, appliances, kitchen, cabinets, you name it. When I was done, I decided I didn't want to be there. The house was too big. It turned into a subdivision of families. I was the only single one, you know. It was really boring. And I said to myself, go and try the city again. But this time, do it right. So I got a condo in the city. The condo that I live in, I sold to my client who's a doctor who lives 3 hours away. He's never lived here. He bought it for an investment property. He hired me to put a tenant. I put a tenant in here for 5 years, and then that tenant was ready to go. So I was showing it to people. So a couple of things happened. The urge to want to leave the suburbs hit after so many years. Even though the house was all done, it still didn't fill my spirit up. It still felt like a big empty house that smelled like fresh paint now, you know? Um, so when I listed this property for lease, I I was showing it to some clients and I think it was speaking to me. It was like, this is the one. What are you waiting for? Why are you showing it to them? You need to just take it. Every time I came through here and I'd be like, I'll take you all outside so you can see my view, so you can understand why. But I moved from the suburbs to from a brand new construction house to a condo. I lease that house out right now. That house pays me $2,500 a month.
Oh, well, isn't that wonderful?
Love to see it.
Okay. Love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going back to the show, I know you spoke on your family and getting reconnected and everything. I wanted to know what their thoughts were once they found out you were going to be a part of Ladies Who List. What were they thinking? What did they have to say?
My baby sister, who is almost my twin, she looks up to it. I tried to get her to move here because I knew that this opportunity was coming. And I was like, you got to get a piece of this. Why don't you come here? I'll create something. You know, we'll live together for a little bit. And until you start learning things, I could put you across the street in another condo, you know. She thought about it, but she also has a boyfriend at home. And my sister is tied to her block. Okay. She is like block captain in my city. So she really wasn't trying to leave, but they're all excited about it. And they were happy that the show asked them to be a part of a scene when it was my birthday. We couldn't fly them here. So we thought, okay, well then let's just do a FaceTime. And it worked. And my mother is down to do whatever. My mother, when I did a personality test on her, she is the entertainer type personality. So she's down for whatever. She's just down. Like, I misunderstood my mom. So there was a wedge in our relationship as she misunderstood me. But now that we're older and some time has passed, we don't have any open holes anymore. We have filled all the gaps, and that took time. It was one family member at a time doing that.
I'm glad that we know that. I was actually really happy to see your family in that scene, because that was pieces of the story that I wanted to find more about. So my question leads with something that you touched on earlier. So what was your expectation of the show when y'all first had it in the works versus the way that it's on TV now? Like, did you expect this outcome? Because you said it started out and was supposed to be something different.
No. So we were told that it was going to be a show about successful Black women in Atlanta doing their thing, you know, girl hangouts and all that stuff. The show knew that I wasn't a girl's girl. Okay. These women, as I'm learning them, I'm finding out that they must have not had a heavy childhood. Like, I lived in Bay Village. We played Red Rover, honey. There was 50 of us, okay? It was like a gang. I was around people and kids my whole life. So as I got older, I became a mother so quick. They don't understand my need and desire to be a girl's girl is just not there. Like theirs is, okay? So your question was, what did the show, how did they pitch the show to us? They pitched it on some positive with some like girl hangout stuff. I don't quite remember the word drama, but that does not mean it wasn't said. It was just so many years ago when they first pitched this.
Now, you just made me think of something. So because you expected it to be more about, you know, Black women in a positive light and not so much drama, I have to ask, were you blindsided in that scene when you were sitting in Crystal's office and she said, well, you don't play well?
Yes.
Because that's where it started to turn for me.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's what it looked like.
That scene you saw first at the park when I was going off, I think in episode 1. Real life, that happened after the dinner. But they didn't show y'all the dinner until they didn't show you the dinner, I think, until like episode 2.
Right. So the park scene was
my anger was
episode 1.
In real life was after the restaurant.
So was that right after? Because you said that y'all had not talked.
Used to film with I had refused to film with Crystal.
Well,
which explains
honestly.
So this is the deal. I was completely blindsided. The fact that we were just coming out of COVID, I spent an entire year in my condo, loving every minute of it because a part of me is an introvert. Okay. And I sense too heavy. Like when I'm around people, I can feel the bad energy in the room. And it always came from Kiana. Always. Right. So I had this idea of building. Everyone thinks that I want real estate agents to come work for me. Honey, I don't. I've been working since I was 14. I am not trying to build a big business and be responsible for all of these people working underneath me. Money is not as important to me as time, but I'm with a group of ladies who see only the money. I done been there. I've made other people rich. I've raised children. I've been working since I was 14. I'm at the end of the line now. So I thought to myself, what a way to make it easier is if I convince other brokerages, not other agents, but other brokerages to collectively come together. And once a month, our brokerage contributes to a pot, a percentage of the brokerage earnings. Okay. And we take that pot and we divvied it up for Southwest Atlanta public schools who are struggling, whether it's giving teachers a bonus with it, buying them a school bus, sending them on a field trip, whatever it is, that money came from a gang of Black brokers in Atlanta. And the goal was it would become contagious, like worldwide. It would inspire other agents to pop up and open their little brokerage, have their little 10, 20 agents working up under them. And before you know it, we're an army of Black owned brokerages with agents working with us, bringing in that money so we can contribute to that pot. I don't know, maybe we lay mulch on their park, rubber mulch, because we know that it's like plain old dirt. And you go to the north side of town and them kids got those rubber grounds, you know, where if they fall, it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? There's not enough. No one's paying attention to these kids that are coming up behind us, right? For me, it's not about the money anymore. It's about the time. Having all of these brokers and all of these agents jump into this would naturally bring business. It was a genius idea. And out of that, 1% pot, we would collectively have a marketing campaign once a month where we all got together, like real big bosses. And that's how we would advertise what we do and show people what we do. Never was it a situation where I needed somebody to work for me. Trust and believe, my DMs are blowing up. Agents want to come. I just don't want all of that responsibility. It's a lot. It's like you're babysitting. Every time they make a mistake, it's you. I don't want that. I make enough money turning over condos in my sleep. That is not a path I want. I'm not 36. I'm 50. I want to set my business up so that it brings in clients organically, as it always has been. And I want to move to a country and sell CBD and wear a bathing suit and tie my hair up. That's what I want to do. And I want to eat fresh fish. I want to work out, and I want to do yoga on the beach. I want that life. Girl. So creating this here in Atlanta is going to give me that. I am not looking to have the biggest brokerage. I am not looking to gross the most money. My bills auto pay. I have A+ credit. My life is good. My kids are straight. One of them owns real estate. They don't have any police records. We don't have any issues, and I'm not in competition. You will never hear me say, I sold 50 million. That'll never come out of my mouth because nobody cares about that but you. I have learned that our kids are killing each other over this money because we make the designer life appear so glamorous, and you're so broke and you're so poor if you don't have it, that it makes me sick to see it. So I will purposely wear the same thing over and over. I don't care. Just as you're sending a message when you're overdressed in designer, I'm sending a message like, this was $6.
And you spray painted your own pearls. Okay.
And I sprayed my pearls, bitch. And that video has gotten now over 116,000 views, and it keeps climbing. Yesterday it was at 100,000. But my point is, we are sending the wrong message. I have already been down the road that these ladies on the show are about to go down. They don't even know how to spell some of the street names yet. Okay? It's a level in life that they have not achieved. No shade. But don't shade me for the successes that I've had so far. And if I'm sending you a warning, it's a legit heartfelt warning to you, like, don't do that. Don't go there. Whatever it is, whether it's in business, whether it's in personal, whether it's in relationships with men. I feel like I'm their future and they don't see it. I'm not here for malice. I am here to set up something that is going to be community driven and is going to provide the biggest impact that Black women have ever done in this industry. And then once I get everybody on board doing that, then I want to attack some of these real estate laws. Some of them straight bullshit. Like Ahmaud Arbery got killed because in Georgia, you can citizens arrest. They don't have that law no more because of that death. But another thing, Ahmaud Arbery died looking at new construction. The National Association of Realtors didn't even acknowledge that. Why did they not? Because he was black? Because if a white woman was shot dead in the streets because she was running out of a new construction property, we walk into new construction all the time, every day. But they didn't have a story for that. But I remember one time they had a white lady, I think it was in California, a man had dressed as a woman to look at a property and he assaulted her. Girl, honey, they came up with this whole protective thing of how to watch yourself out there doing real estate, try not to show it at night. Like, but this little boy gets shot and nothing is said. None of the girls on the show that I know of belong to the National Association for Black Real Estate Brokers. Like, what are we doing with our money, guys? Nobody wants to see that you were able to buy, you know, a G-Wagon and $80,000 worth of designer on a daily basis. Like, we're gone too far as a culture. We lost the heart. We lost the soul. Our kids are killing other kids for that same money that we're flashing around. Like, I just see it differently. I just do. And then maybe it's because of my age, but I've been through all of these phases, so much so that y'all's style is coming back. Stuff I wore in high school is coming back. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've so much to offer, but the resistance is so thick and so heavy that it's,
yeah, it makes you want to be like, never mind then. You know?
I'm learning to be never mind then.
Well, you know what? I feel like the people that want to learn from you will show that genuine, you know, want and interest without all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Differentiates me from everybody else on the show. That's what differentiates me, that I've already ran the race. You know?
Yeah.
And also, we mentioned it before on our Thursday show. I feel like it's so easy to see the insecurities radiating off of some of the women on the show. I feel like it with every single one or every single episode that has been revealed, all of the women are beautiful, easy, okay? All the women make money, easy. But every single episode, someone has shown some shape or form a way of insecurity. And I don't feel like we've seen that with you. You've been very conscious about your shortcomings, what you're able to apply yourself to, what you don't want to spend your energy on. And that's why I've enjoyed seeing you on the show from the beginning, because you know yourself. And with the other women, you can just see the facade.
Yes. So speaking of that, Speaking of that, can we get some backstory on your relationship with Crystal?
Her best friend, sister?
Okay. So there's two characters in this story, Crystal and Jason. Jason was my male friend. I have a lot of male friends. And when you've been on this planet as long as I have, and you cross state lines with your children, I have a lot of male friends because they didn't make the cut. Okay. And my personality requires loyalty and security. It just requires it. I need to feel protected and safe. So I got my real estate license, went into a random brokerage office near my house when I lived in South Fulton. And I went up to the lady and I was like, look, I just got my license. I don't even know what to do. Like, who here should I sit with? And she was like, that guy right there, he's in here every day. I don't know him, but maybe you should go talk to him. And I was like, okay. I went over to him and I was like, hey, I'm Robin. Just got my license. She told me I should maybe learn from you, whatever. Instantly, we clicked from that day. So much so that we thought that we were going to like do this real estate thing together. He went off into development and I remained an agent. He was looking for a girlfriend. He met this girl. He used to bring them to my house, almost like an interview. You know, I would meet them or whatever, because he had nowhere else to bring them because he had got kicked out. So he was staying on my couch too. As our relationship built, I'm giving you the quick snippets. That's how I met him at the real estate place. He was going through some stuff. He stayed on my couch. We've never had anything ever. You know, he was crushing on my daughter for a little while, but that never went anywhere. He was helping me with real estate too. And there was a man downstairs on the couch. Okay. It was very short lived. He meets Crystal. He's over the moon about her. And in fact, he invites me for drinks one day. I went to the drink place and he never showed up because he was out with Crystal. It was summertime. We were sitting outside. It was downtown. I was fine with it. But he was so smitten by her that he wanted me to meet her. And he also wanted me to do business with her. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not stuck on one closing attorney. Only using a Black closing attorney wasn't a thing for me back then. I kind of used whatever because I was new. And as time went on, I started getting contracts. Now it's 2016. I meet Crystal in person for the first time. I hear a lot about her. I even think he might have put me on the phone with her. My daughter and I are in IKEA and we see Jason. He sees us. There is Crystal. My daughter says that her instant vibe with Crystal was not good. It wasn't. Jason embraced me like he does all the time with a hug, and I embraced her with a hug too. And I was getting one of these big IKEA mirrors, and my car couldn't fit it. So I was like, Jason, can you drop this off? At the time I was living in two places. I had went out on a limb and rented an apartment in the heart of downtown in the neighborhood that I had planned to take over. Okay. I had been studying it since 2012. I was like, I'm going to move here. So I did. So I was setting it up. And Jason came because he had a flatbed truck and he called me and he was like, she's coming with me. But he sounded weird, like she's coming with me. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, whatever. So from out the window, I said hello to her. She never got out the truck. And he brought the thing up and he was like, don't forget, close your deals with her. And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I started closing deals with her. They were regular at first. And then as we started to close more deals in 2017, I was popping downtown. Like the market had sprung back and I was right there to receive everything. And so I was closing with her a lot. And she would do nice things like buy me cupcakes for my birthday. Like I got a video on my page I was like, oh my God, it's a party. She brought out champagne and cupcakes and she's good like that. She can put something together real fast. That's her jam, So when you're doing business with somebody and then they start like treating you like that, you're like, ooh, you're smitten. We became friends. That's how she was able to get in. But even when we were friends, she would call all the time and I wouldn't even always answer. Because again, I don't got room in my brain to hear all your problems.
Right.
She always had a man problem.
I believe it.
So she would always call my opinion. And what attracted me to Crystal was the fact that she was young and really together. And I wasn't. So hanging around somebody who was in a higher financial tax bracket than you and had things pretty much organized, she was a good example of like when she'd be out early in the morning on a Monday, I'd be like, fuck, I gotta go get dressed. You know what I mean? Because I got this thing where I'd be working in my pajamas and I look up and it's 4:00. You know what I'm saying? So she was motivation for me. Now remember, I had been coming through up and down with bouts of depression. I was doing anything in my power. I was changing locations of where I laid my head at night. I was trying to find the right place that fit good. I thought maybe that would help. I could not figure out why I was always so sad. Could not figure it out. The personality test would help me determine what type of person I shouldn't be around, and then I would look at my circle in my mind and be like, yeah, she's that type. My clients always wanted to be good friends. I got into that trap too of getting really close to my clients. I'm a clingy person. If you're the right person for me, I'm going to cling on to you because I feel like there's not a whole lot of people that I can connect with. So if I feel that vibe, I want to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I felt that vibe with Crystal. She was security. In my mind, I was like, if anything ever happens to me, I know Crystal will make sure that my kids get notified properly. I know she'll see it through. My family's not here. I have nobody here, just me and my daughter. And she's a flight attendant, so she ain't never really around, you know? So having Crystal, knowing that she was more responsible than me, that she would know how to slide into a leadership role, it's almost like I'm planning for the friendships I build now are friendships that are going to make sure I exit properly.
Mm.
Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
not, I want to go out and hang out and have champagne with you every Friday. It's,
No, can I trust you? Are you going to be there if I have to go and get chemo? Like, yeah.
because she
Yes.
seemed to me like she was that kind of friend, because she was always at everybody's party, everybody's event, any celebration. She was there, supportive. That's what I seen in Crystal. Okay. I saw the supportive side of her. I saw what I thought was loyalty and security. You know, I'm tired of having friends that can't bail me out of problems. Really. You know what I mean? When you're the one that's
Yes.
bailing somebody
Mm-hmm.
out, then who's going to help
Mm-hmm.
you if one day you get wrapped up in something? You know, you get a parking ticket, you talk too snappy to the cop, and now he's going to arrest you. I know that if I called Crystal, she was going to answer that phone and she was going to make sure my ass didn't sit there. You get what I'm saying? I'm looking at
Yes.
different reasons for friendships at my age. I don't need
Yes.
you to come to the mall with me. In fact, I love shopping alone because I like to look through everything and I don't need you rushing me. I'm at a
Mhm.
point in my life where I go to the day spa all day by myself. This quiet mind is a beautiful space to be in when it's been completely full of chaos the majority of your time on this earth. And
Mm.
people that haven't been through all the chaos don't appreciate this alone time. Crystal was very antsy and she was no good during COVID. She had to be outside. That girl had to be on the streets. She'd call me and be like, can I come do work at your house? And I'd be like, man, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? I like to smoke my weed. I get real creative. I like to chill while I'm working. I put my music on. Sometimes it'd be hot. I got two beautiful balconies. I get a sunset and a sunrise. Most of the time, I don't even have clothes on for real. I don't do my work traditionally. If I was in Montessori school, I would be the child that was laying on her stomach reading her book, not at a desk. I am not the same.
Truly a woman after my own heart. As we
I,
continue this
Um,
interview, like I can't even say
More
it.
reasons why I love you.
I appreciate the way flowers smell, okay? Like I
yeah.
Yes.
Home Depot, like, okay, so this flower will be an insect repellent and you can put it in your tea. Girl, give me a
Lemongrass.
Yes.
not by
Lemongrass.
they're just pretty. They need to serve a purpose. Everything now needs to serve a purpose because I was in complete chaos for so long with no organization. Like I'm still like that today. Like I'll put makeup on and just put the brush down. I won't put it where it belongs. I'm still learning. So if I'm around friends who are anal with the organization, it helps me. And that's Crystal. Everything has a place.
And she explained this episode that she needed your, chaos in a way to help her not be so anal about everything. So I can understand how there was a balance in you guys' relationship at some point.
There really was a balance. And that's the part we didn't get to show you guys. It just looked like all dysfunction. And that's really not what it was. I still do agree that she's a collector of friends now that I see the show,
Yes.
And I'm the vault. I hold all the secrets because I'm a loyal friend. And my girlfriends, they're ex-stockbrokers from the 80s in New York when you can sniff cocaine and smoke cigarettes and trade stock. She lives upstairs from me. My other good girlfriend is a historian at Spelman College. You know, these women are in their 60s. They're showing me those roads that I haven't seen yet. You get what I'm saying? So my brain does not have the capacity anymore for young women that are catty like the women that I'm on the show with. And they are all not catty, but they are all not their whole true selves yet either. And that's okay. I have realized and recognized that I'm just simply too much for them right now. But they will appreciate it in 10 years. They're going to be like, she said that. She told me that.
Are you too much or are they not enough? Like that TikTok sound.
Right. But the thing is, you gain more knowledge as you gain more years. Everyone says let go of your childhood, but we're still giving us each other's cake and balloons for our birthday because that's what we did when we were kids, right? We still go to adult bowling and parks because that's what you did when you were a kid. It's nostalgic. It feels good. Crystal told me I need to let my childhood go. And I'm like, baby, you see what I'm talking about? This is my fabric. My childhood has built me to be this strong person that you like low key are obsessed with, admire, you know, because I can walk into a restaurant or a bar and I can tell you right now, my meal is getting paid for. I go out alone. I don't need company. They travel in packs. I can't deal with all the hyenas. You know what I mean? It's just not my jam. Again, the chaos and the cattiness, I have no space in my head for it. I like chill. I only listen to gangster music when I'm on my way to a closing. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm really selling drugs. But that's it. You know what I'm saying? I do have a street side. I was raised to street fight. You know, I've been street fighting my whole life. Not anymore, though. They don't understand the Robin that you see today is so buffed and refined because you would have put me outside had you met me 10 years ago. I mean, I worked in strip clubs. I was a bartender. I was used to being around snappy, nasty people, especially in the strip club. There are no rules. We want to see your manager. I am the manager. How can I help you? You know, that type of stuff. So they just don't get it. They just don't understand me. Or they do, and they just don't want to admit it because I do come with a level of brilliance that they have not achieved yet either.
Well, when I think about not achieving, it takes me back to Kyra and the negative energy she led with when it came to you. And I was just wondering whether or not you asked her why she had more energy for you than she had for Crystal, who also unfollowed her. Like, did that conversation come up at all? It was like she just came out and straight at you versus like really having any type of conversation with Crystal.
I can't even really talk about her because I have children her age, and the way she has represented us from the start has been quite disgusting because had she not and had Kiana not, y'all would have never seen that side of us. Had they not poked their heads out and brought old beef to my concept dinner. And that's just the reality of it. I don't know Kyra. I don't know her enough to even talk about her. As you notice, I don't film with her.
Was she one of the 8 women though from the beginning in 2017?
I don't remember who was one of the 8, and I don't have the same phones like to like check the text messages, but I don't remember who the others were, honestly. I don't. Like, I literally just kept to myself and sold real estate before that phone rang and said, do you want to be on a reality show? You know, I didn't bother with the chicks like that.
So, speaking of poking their heads out, takes me back to that dinner. I love last episode when you said Queen Kiana and Princess Kyra, because that's exactly the vibe I was getting. I honestly feel like Kyra beefs on Kiana's behalf. But now that I mentioned Kiana, can we get clarity over, and I may be saying this wrong, you holding Kiana's closings, we're trying to figure out where the confusion came from.
Mm-hmm.
So was 13,000 ever mentioned, or was $500? It was just very confusing how something can be misconstrued so much. So what was the context of that conversation?
Okay. So first of all, Kiana's a liar. Kiana's a liar. She called my phone at night during COVID. I don't even know what day it was, but it was odd to receive a phone call from her on my old phone, my 508 number that I've had for 25 years. She called and said, "Hey girl, I need to move my files." I said, "Oh, okay. I got to do this tomorrow." Blah, blah, blah. She didn't give me details. I didn't ask. Our conversation was like 3 minutes. She was like, "Are we cool?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it for $500. She said, "Okay, bet I'll call you in the morning." Okay, bet I'll call you in the morning. The morning call never came. Not for clarity, not for a touchback, not for nothing. That is it.
I
You
believe
didn't
it.
care enough to call me and ask me, "Did you mean 500 or did you mean 13,000?" There was none of that. First of all, I just told you I'm not a worker. I'll tell you why I sell condos, and you'll understand where I'm coming from. Those condos sell themselves. I sell the same things over and over. It's easy. My work is 5 minutes away down the street. I look at it every day. You really think I wanted 26 contracts? No. Did I owe Kiana anything? No. 26, 29, 32, whatever the number was. I said $500 and I meant it. $500. See, what they're trying to say is, "Oh, you said 13,000 and you're lying." But what people fail to recognize is I'm not the liar. I am the in your face, don't hold nothing back type of chick. So why would I lie about that? What do I have to gain? I don't owe her anything. She's another agent. At the time, she was an agent asking me to help her open her brokerage. Kiana has picked my brain several times during her come up in this world. I was her real estate agent. Okay. I sold one of her condos for her. So she hired me. She sees the good in me, but she'll turn around and act like she doesn't know me or she only knows of me. And I don't understand where that negative energy actually comes from, but we definitely know each other. Okay. Because I worked for you. Okay. The $500 thing, I know that she's out there speaking, and I'm not supposed to speak of my other cast members, but the situation is Kiana was opening up her brokerage and she needed my help. Kiana was in a hot ass jam and needed my help in an emergency, and I came through. I said $500, period. And even if I said 500 per transaction, I would have, number one, said that. I would have made it abundantly clear because this is a woman who doesn't hold her tongue, not for nothing. Even if I charged her $500 per transaction, my brokerage is liable for every single transaction. If anybody were to default, I'd have to collect the money. Like, I didn't know where the money was. Like, earnest money is out there. If you got 26 transactions, I don't even know how deep you are into them. I don't know if they're going to close in 30 days. She says 30 days, but that's not true. You needed somebody to hold your contracts until they closed. Okay. So stop saying for 30 days. All right. Because that would mean that you got them all on the same day if they were going to close in 30 days. And that is in fact not true. Okay. You can punch a lot of holes in everything that she says when it comes to this. But let's talk about, if you had 26 contracts, how much money did you make? Did you make $300,000? Because if you did, and I was charging you 15 or 13,000, honey, that's the price. And it
That's what we
doesn't even
said.
feel like a dent when you're making 300,000. Why is it that no one out there is asking Miss Watson how much money she made off those 26 transactions? So let's assume that each one was $300,000, and they weren't. So that means that you would have made $9,000 for each transaction. Times that by 26. I'm at 180,000 already. Just doing 26 times 9, like
234.
15K from that.
234.
So let's take 15 from that. Is it bad? Does it sound bad now? Because everybody on the planet seems to think that my business was supposed to operate in a pro bono type situation for someone who I am not.
None of us.
True.
Wow.
Right.
Every
Yeah,
single one
right.
of us
We
was
don't
like,
think
so
that.
do you want it for free? Like, make us understand.
It was the
Even
hidden
if you
agenda.
said 15, that's not even 1% of the.
That's what she said.
Wow.
About that. Let's talk about, if you want to talk hard numbers, let's talk about what you would have made had each property only been a $9,000 commission for you. And we know it wasn't, because she sold 50 million in real estate, right? That year. So we know good and well that they weren't no little tiny $300,000 transactions. I just gave you 300 for round number. Okay. As a real estate agent, you get 3% of the sales price as your commission. So if the property was 300,000, your commission is 9,000. Times that by 26. But I doubt that her numbers were that low. I believe that she probably had a couple of $500,000 and higher in there. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you making all that bread and you screaming bloody murder that I wanted to charge you a fee that any other broker in this state would have charged you. Okay? For the liability. See, it's not worth it for me to take all your drama into my business and hang on to it. What if one of your files would have got caught up in something, anything, lender fraud, whatever?
Right.
Now I'm involved
Right.
because I took the responsibility of taking your transactions.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are not in this real estate world, but I'm sure you all have nieces or nephews or the next door neighbor's kid that you adore, or one of your own. But that would be like somebody saying, here, hold my kid for a year. All right, I'll be right back. And you'd be like, I need diaper money. Well, what about milk? Are you going to?
Right. Like that's a lot to try to sit in somebody's lap and then say you were overcharging me for something and you were trying to take advantage. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, listen,
Right.
I noticed a lot of things just from her
And then
speaking, about things. Like
maybe I need some money. Either she was trying to put her foot in my neck or she just needed some money. Bitch, if I need money, I'm going to go sell a condo. I'm not going to think that you're going to in the night because you planned this brokerage in the night. But this work needed to be done the very next morning. But
It's giving plot.
A brokerage.
It's
giving plot.
Giving plot and storyline. Like, now that you're saying all this, it's giving plot.
That's funny though, Necey, because
please go ahead.
Because I listened to an interview that Kiana did, and she just talked about a lot of storylines that seemed like it more fitted Robin. But then here we are discussing this and realizing, as Necey said, that she had her own plot and her own storyline, as if what Robin had going on kind of went against her as far as like the brokerages, right? And I'm glad you cleared that up earlier, saying that you wanted all brokerages to come together and form a massive one versus the individual one, because she was saying in that interview that she already has her own brokerage and she wasn't getting as much attention. And that was she just kind of broke down like some of the angles that she felt kind of benefited you. It was a little confusing for me when you're a part of an ensemble cast. I'm not really sure how much highlight they're going to be able to give one thing on their particular on their business.
Yes. And I mean, honestly, while watching it, I felt like everybody, they really were. This last episode was a perfect example of them tallying up the time that they were given in a really great way, honestly. Like, I don't know how you feel about the show, Robin, because you're on it.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like we've definitely seen like different sides of everybody. Like, well, you know, maybe not everybody, but we've seen the business
For the most
aspect
part,
of it,
yeah.
which is the most important part as far as, you know, Kiana is concerned.
Okay.
Do you? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what everyone must take heed to is the fact that if those two ladies did not bring the drama to the dinner, there would be no drama, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I said that. I
That's
absolutely
true.
said.
Had we stuck to the plan,
Oh, that's true.
there would be no drama. And people need to understand this played out and unfolded and was shocking for me. That now I'm on TV being portrayed as a psycho bunny when I was really caught off guard.
Right.
So much so that they're lucky that the old Robin didn't show up and tip that whole table over. And that if that's what they were looking for, because listen, production is here to tell a story, a reality TV story. So if you're going to get caught up in that net, the best thing we should have done is we should have formed an alliance in the very beginning, but we didn't know. This was our first rodeo for all of us. So we're being so heavily judged. But the reality of it is Kiana wanted Watson Realty Co. to be seen and heard at every turn. She spent major money to put on big shows and big performances. Everything was over the top, right? But because she brought that drama, it superseded and got in front of her own shit. Okay? She will not say sorry. She will not admit that she started the drama. She is now running away because she feels like we were unfairly portrayed. But let me just tell you this. When we filmed that first scene, right away, I was already done. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Did y'all plot to set me off like that? Like, luckily, I wasn't drinking. Luckily, I wasn't drunk because the cameras were so far away that it was easy for you to forget that they were there. All right? So it's your first time. You don't even know how to act on TV. You're trying to make sure you're perfect about everything. And when Kiana, they didn't show you this, but we were talking about racism in real estate. We were talking about how I just came from my guy, Frank. We had just had a closing. Frank was a black flight attendant for Delta, and he didn't even know about home ownership until late in life. I was his third realtor. He came with a much higher approval letter, and I sold him something way under what he could have spent because I want to see Frank win. Okay. I want to see Frank win. I wanted him to have an affordable mortgage. I wanted him to move and buy a condo in a historic building, which scarcity is important. Location is important. Price point is important. I got Frank a whole condo with all the shit in it. Dishes, towels, you name it, because I went in so heavy on that realtor that was giving us a hard time. I had to check her about how she was behaving with us because she was nickel and diming us at every corner, you know? Frank said a long speech, but y'all didn't hear it because the network, the production company didn't understand what was really important, okay? They were going after, you know, the 2003 housewives type mentality. They were. But when I sensed that, I spoke about it. Nobody else had anything to say. It was almost like they were like, ha, ha, let's destroy her. You know, let's knock her down first.
Because they thought it would be easy. I mean, it was given plot when we first seen Crystal and Kiana at the showing before the dinner. The conversation was very much like, you know what I'm about to do, right? I'm about to bring that's the vibe I was getting. You know what I'm about to
be
do,
with
right?
the shits. I'm about to be with the shits.
Crystal was like, okay, cool. Yes.
That's messed up.
So it ended up turning into, so episode 1 aired the day before. We watched it with Black Girl Social Club. And I'm going to be honest, I was nervous about what we were about to see because I knew that I could have possibly like went out of control. Kiana tried me with some old ass beef that I didn't even think she cared about because she never called back. Was I supposed to follow up with her and say, hey girl, do you still need my help? No, I was not. She never followed back. I didn't either. It was almost like the call never happened. And then Kyra, who I don't even know, who I complimented and congratulated one time in 2019. She sold a house. I said, congratulations to you. She posted a beautiful photo. I said, oh my God, you look bomb, or something like that. And you're going to come to my dinner and accuse me of being a fan and an op and an op?
That was so weird.
Like,
That
where
was so
do they
weird.
do that at? Like, what?
That's so awkward. Well, you invited her.
Right. Did you unfollow her though? And I'm not mad if you did, but I'm asking.
Yes, I did. And I said why I did. Back then, the algorithm with Instagram, they had just switched it to where you were going to see what they wanted you to see. So you were repeatedly seeing the same shit over and over and over. And I got tired of seeing it. So I go to my least interacted list and I see who's on there and I delete and unfollow everybody. Her name was on that list.
It's because y'all don't interact, which is why the unfollow shouldn't have mattered, because y'all don't really know each other.
Right.
And that's what I thought happened.
But before I deleted everybody, I went to their page to see if we really leastly interacted. And we did. 2019. So you haven't said boo to me in a year or two, and you want me to keep. I didn't understand where that was coming from. And that's why I looked at her with a crunch face like, what?
Girl, what?
Like, what?
Right.
You know?
So speaking of that scene, Crystal has been going through like the episodes explaining what happened between the two of you. Like she was defending herself because you were overreacting to her telling you that, you know, oh, you're triggered, you know. So did that make you question your friendship with her even more?
First of all, the girls that I got at home as friends, we're friends. We could not talk for 10 years. If I go home and something pops off, I already know they got my back. It's a no-brainer. I came up like that. Okay? So I told you what I require in a friendship, right? Loyalty, security. When I walked in and Tiffany went to get up, if you watch it, she said, hold on, stop. She put her arms out like that. Like she didn't want anybody to get up and acknowledge that I was there. I thought that was weird. When we sat down and we started talking, I don't know if they played this in a clip, but she said, come on, Robin, get on with it. And the reason why she said that is because she knew that my plan wasn't all the way planned out. And the show wanted me to give them something. You know, everybody had a party, if you notice. Everybody had an event. That was my event. But it didn't click to me that's what the show was doing. You know, they told me later on, like, okay, that was your party. You know what I mean? That where you brought all the ladies together. We want you to have Crystal ask for them. Some of the stuff the production set up. They set up the scene. Please believe if I wanted Kiana at my thing, I'd call her myself. I wouldn't really go and tell Crystal to do that for me. Understand who you're talking with. So Crystal was already acting weird. When she allowed Kiana to poke her head out once and didn't tap her on the knee and be like, no, because I knew she knew what Kiana was coming with. Right there, I was like, okay, something's about to pop.
Because she said, be honest, Kiana, be honest. And I was like, as if she wasn't.
Give it to her.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was reading the room and I could see everybody was getting a little different. The temperature had changed. So I was like, Robin, and I'm in mathematically, I'm counting how much money I got on. Right? Like, are they going to pull these pearls off my neck? Like, is this really going to happen? And Kiana kept bopping her head out and she kept saying, we're going to table it. We're going to table it. And I was like, stop fucking saying we're going to table it. Stop talking about it. Excuse me, if we're going to table it. Like, what is your problem? I was just with you 2 weeks ago at Crystal's birthday party. Why did you not bring this then? Like, why are you talking about the shit now? You sat arm's length across from me after her party was over in a bar that nobody was in because it was about to close and we were in the Four Seasons on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, right? Why didn't you talk to me about it then? She knew she was about to bring the shit to my dinner. That's why she didn't want to have a conversation, because production would also tell us, you know, don't be having side conversations. Save it all for the camera. Save it all for the camera. But honey, Kiana and Kyra were seduced, and Crystal, by that camera. That camera brought out their natural ugliness, okay? It couldn't bring out my natural ugliness because I don't have it in me. It's not here. If you want to call me being boisterous or vocal or protective of myself when I'm about to be attacked, then you call it whatever you want. But I can damn sure know that I was not going to be the one ending up on the ground. I don't know these women. I don't know how they operate. I was in a room with strangers. And then they're going to act like they didn't start it all. You know? Like, did this just happen? Okay, so I get escorted out first. I immediately text Crystal. Immediately. What the fuck just happened? What was that? Like, how, what is going on? She says, oh, and I called her. She was like, I'm gonna have to call you back, Rob. Actually, let me see if I still have it. Because when you block people, though, you may not have the text messages anymore. But I told Crystal, and she knew it. I stayed there. I was the last person to leave that event because I waited on the bench. Valet pulled my car up, and I sat there and I waited for her to come out. I don't know how I missed her, but she got out of there without me seeing her, and she went days and days without calling or responding to a text message, as if I did something bad to her. She knew what she did. She wasn't ready for my wrath. That's why she didn't call me. She wasn't ready for it, and she wasn't worth me driving over to her house either for it. I was disgusted. I felt betrayed, and it just solidified my reasoning as to why I do not mess with certain types of women. Everybody's not going to like you. Some people are out there to sabotage you, and those three want to see me on my knees. But I will tell you, baby, I will never be back there again. I've already been there. I've already been on my knees with tears in my eyes. But when we watched episode 1 with Black Girl Social Club, we didn't know, and they didn't know, that their comments were coming across the screen as we watched episode 1 for the very first time. My mic was muted. When they unmuted my mic, I mean, they were saying, she's bipolar, she needs a doctor, she's crazy. Like, they were judging me. And this is a Black Girl Social Club. I couldn't hold back my tears. I was now again being attacked, you know? So when they unmuted my mic, I went all the way in with my foot on all of their necks. And I let them know that they needed to check their family before they judged me, because they've got an auntie, uncle, cousin, mother, brother, somebody going through some shit that their family is straight up ignoring. I have been through 5 surgeries, building my business by myself, struggling with depression, struggling with anxiety. No real solid, true person to lean on that I'm comfortable with dumping everything onto. So I'm holding a large part of life in me. This does not all stem from my childhood. Some of the things have occurred and the disappointment since I've moved here, you know? So the way they cut things up and the way they deliver my message is not 100% accurate. But they're making it seem like I'm still crying over things that happened when I was 5, and that is not the case. You know, that is not the case. So we had to pivot. We didn't quit and run away. Oh, Black Girl Social Club. After I told them, and then something else traumatic happened that I don't want to repeat on this right now, but there was another layer of trauma that any woman would have experienced. It put me over the edge just recently as 2018. Just as my business was getting to its peak, I fell again. you know? So I'm not asking for extra compassion. I just need people to completely understand that I am not like them. I've been through some shit, not to discount what you have been through. Just, if you're going to be a friend, there are requirements. You need to know how to be loyal. You need to know how to protect. You need to be confrontational sometime. I can't run around with weak women. Crystal's weak. Crystal may have everything together because maybe she didn't have friends when she was little. So she developed that skill, and maybe she had organized parents who taught her. She does have 3 of them. And from what I gather, they were very, smart and successful. I didn't have the same thing. My parents were kids, straight up. They were kids that had me. So we are from 2 different sides of the track. And my son said to me, Mom, I wish I grew up in the projects. And I said, why? And I knew why. He was like, I feel like I'm missing a certain something. I feel like I'm missing that struggle is not in me like it is with some of my friends. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. That's a place where you only understand if you live there. You only understand it if you live there. Every time you brought your little white girlfriend home from school, she didn't understand why y'all shared the same bedroom. She didn't understand why y'all were eating breakfast sausages with peas and mashed potatoes. Like, they just don't understand. I chalked it up as Crystal just not understanding my background and hoping that I could teach her until I seen the show. I know I just went on a rant, but Black Girl Social Club, they ended up congratulating me and cheering me on and apologizing for being so negative and so judgmental while I was watching this scene for the first time. I'm not a paid actress. We was told that the show was going to be positive and it was going to be about real estate. And all we all thought was our businesses are going to get the best amount of exposure. We was all for it. I did not expect to have to get gutted and everybody see my insides before I was ready for y'all to see that. I was not ready to tell you that I was depressed and I suffered from anxiety. Those tears in yoga came from so deep that
You can see it.
I felt once again, I'm here once again. I feel like I keep getting beat up on because I keep giving chance after chance after chance to people. And then they mistake your kindness for a weakness. And I'm so not a weak person. And I'm trying to hold these tears in and I don't want to blink because they're going to fall out.
You making me
Okay.
cry.
I wish I could hand you a
It's
tissue.
Okay.
I know. I just want to give you a hug.
I know. Because
And-
honestly, like,
It's okay.
just
And
hearing you
this is
talk
appreciate
about
the
it makes me
vulnerability.
mad. Like, hearing you talk about that makes me mad because I feel like I wish you would have, if we would have knew that there was an opportunity for you to come and watch it live with us, then you would have had a different experience because I
For
feel like
sure.
none of us watched it and felt like, oh my God, Robin is the worst.
Nobody.
Like, none of
Correct.
us. Like,
Yeah.
we're missing one of our members here tonight. But none of us watched it and felt like that. We all were watching the scene like, okay, yeah, she popped off, but y'all were like trying to get that reaction out of her. It was almost like when every time the conversation tried to simmer down or turn around, it's like, but let's bring it up again. And now we're mad about Instagram. And now Crystal is like agitating the situation in this very weird, gleeful way. It was just
Antagonizing.
yeah, like
Very much
And-
I
so.
just felt like, yeah,
Each of us have related to you.
Yes.
And I really appreciate your vulnerability.
But
Yes.
yes.
Definitely. Like, I know you may not have wanted to, show us that, but I just really, really appreciate that because it shows you that you're relatable, number one, because a lot of people go through this stuff and they suffer in silence. They don't have nobody to talk to because they have a lot of people that don't understand them. I feel like that's why I lost, not to make this about me, girl, but that's why me and one of my friends aren't friends anymore. Because I too have been where you are, and they just like they don't get that. And then they make it seem as though you're the weird one. You know,
Yeah.
when they don't see it, they don't understand it, and they don't take the time. It's okay to not understand it, but it's you not wanting to take the time to understand, and then you disregard the feelings of your friend. We can't be friends.
And that's the thing. My feelings were definitely disregarded. That night, after I did that, I walked off the interview because I couldn't believe that that's what, production would want to put out. Like, why would you put that out? Why didn't you show the scene of us talking about it, talking about the idea? You didn't do that. You showed the fight. Okay, so fine. The next day, I mean, I cried all night, and then all through the next day, I literally watched the sun come up and the sun go down. I was in the bathtub in the dark going, my business is ruined. People are no longer going to trust me. They're going to think that I can't handle my stuff. Like, I have been holding it together for so long. How could they do that to me? Like, I was ate up inside. And the ladies knew it. And Tiffany called, and her mother called, and Tiana called. Crystal called, but she offered me counseling. Kiana never called. And that was the day that I begged the network to not put that out there. And it was too late, though, So the next thing I said was, okay, you've been through harder, right? Just keep pushing on, keep pushing on. People are going to see it. They're going to judge, whatever. The show comes on. I look at my phone. Everybody's saying such bad things. Oh, they're saying such bad things, and I really couldn't handle it. I couldn't really handle it. It wasn't until I think episode 2 or 3, I think it was 3, that really hit home for a lot of people. And that's when messages started coming in saying, oh my God, I can relate to you. I feel the same way. You're not alone. And I mean, they were pouring in. And they were pouring in, I'm so sorry you're getting this reaction out of me right now. But they were pouring in out of everywhere. And one of my best friends texted me and he said, you're about to change the world. And I said, how? And he said, people are going to feel like they can talk about their pain now because they see this polished, pretty girl, who's doing it big in Atlanta, and she has problems too. And then that's when the whole mental health thing came into play. Like, oh my God, did I do that? Is that what happened? And it was over after that. I felt light. I went from a dark crying place. It literally felt like I was losing my old self and a new self was emerging. When I woke up that morning, I was like, oh my God.
It's so crazy.
I feel light. I've been carrying this bag of rocks with me my whole life. I feel light. It's not a secret no more. It's not a secret. It didn't come the way I wanted it to.
Let me tell you, when I was watching that scene with you and Tiffany, when y'all were talking about what you both had gone through, it was something so different about that scene. I have watched many a scene of people talking about what they go through with mental health issues and all of that, but there was something so connected about the conversation that y'all were having that I honestly, I don't know, it just felt good. Like I was like, oh my God, like I don't know what this was, but this felt so good. Like I don't know, but yeah, you could feel the genuineness and the realness. And I honestly was like, oh my God, like I love Robin. Like, like it, yeah.
I think it felt really good to see somebody that got her. is like that, just fully
Yes.
like understood her and can relate, you know.
Tiana in
I
the
think that's what it
scene
for me.
saying,
Yeah.
"What is this? I cannot
Yes.
do this." When
Yeah,
Tiana stood up in
I'm
her
I
a,
little
love
glitter
that.
bodysuit after, and was like, "I cannot. I don't know what y'all was doing
I
here,
was
but
here
this
for
was
that.
not it." It was like,
Yeah.
we were so grateful for them to validate you and also validate
Yep.
how we were feeling watching.
Mhm.
So like,
Absolutely.
yeah, it was great to see that
They
support
were
because
lifesavers, okay? They were lifesavers that day because immediately they identified this ain't right. And Crystal just blew it off like Tiana and Tiffany like just weren't real. And no, these are real women. They got feelings. Your feelings are heightened after you have children. You don't never want to see nobody hurt like that. It's almost like their brains haven't clicked yet because all the mean girls don't have kids yet. And sometimes when you go through that whole process, it changes you. It prepares you for the next level. Tiffany and Tiana are at that next level. Their level of compassion is higher. Their observation skills are sharpened because you got children, you know. And I try to say that. Well, we'll talk about the ranch later, but yes, they walked me. We were all standing at valet together, the three of us. And they was just like, with friends like that, you don't need enemies. Like, we are so sorry that happened. And Tiffany like really came through and she related with me and she felt good. She felt like a good blanket, you know, and you suck your fingers, you baby, you know, she felt like that. She felt like a real friend, you know. And Crystal is in such fear of Tiffany because she knows Tiffany can slide right in and knock her out. Crystal doesn't have a lot of friends. She gets invited to a lot of places. Don't let her fool you. Okay.
Robin, I have to tell you this. So I felt seen when I saw you go through this on TV. I've gone through something similar before that I didn't speak to people about because I didn't feel like they could relate. So I too have anxiety, right? But don't have anxiety and then be pretty and then have a best friend who's in secret competition, because then it's easy to make people, make it seem like you're a bitch. And then it's hard for you to have conversations with people about things like mental health. So it wasn't until you told your story and talked about your experience with Crystal. I had never, ever saw somebody have an experience that was so mirrored to mine that I had to get on YouTube and talk about it, because I have been in a situation to where at the end of the day, I just took the villain card and was just like, fuck it. Right. And then whenever you came on TV and talked about it, I was like, you know what? It takes a certain level of really just time to sit with yourself and forgiveness within yourself, because people will gaslight you into thinking that you are a bad person. And that's where I was for a long time, but I generally was just misunderstood. So thank you for
You're
that.
welcome, Necey.
Yes.
Welcome. Like, I feel like now mental health it's becoming table talk at home, right? It was a topic that nobody really discussed, and now they are. And the good comments keep coming in, and every morning when I'm sipping my elderberry tea and I'm reading them, and I'm like, yes, good. I mean, it didn't, and production, I mean, I was on the line with production for hours begging them, and they were like, Robin, we promise you, this is a story, okay? We came out heavy and we came out hard, and they wanted to bring you guys into the TV screen. Like, they
they
wanted,
did a good job. They
and
did a
they
good
did a
job.
great job. I mean, I can say it now, but I couldn't say it then.
Then
They did a
right.
great job. And for cast members to start quitting now and saying that they're using the show, they're showing the drama. Every time I hear it, I say, there is a message within that drama. Pay attention. There is a lesson to be learned in that drama. Pay attention. Whether it's friendships, relationships, mental health, anxiety, you're going to start to see people's crack. You said I turned into the Hulk at the dinner. You ran before you could turn into the Hulk. You quit. You quit before we could see what was up under there. Everybody could see what's up under here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I won't change though. I'll still be the Robin from Boston that everybody knows, but my selection of friends is going to be better, and I don't have these issues where I'll put it this way. That will never happen again. I will never be in a room and somebody want to bring no beef. I will just say, escort her out. The minute I smell it, you got to go.
Security.
I don't owe you an explanation of anything. You waited a year. Kyra, you waited 2. That was dumb. But anyway.
She ain't had no real beef. She don't have no real beef.
And then because I'm going to tell you what, now that the story has been played out the way it's been played out, it's unfortunate that the 3 of them are not getting on board to help spread the message. Crystal makes a t-shirt that says not easily triggered. Okay.
Yes,
I didn't even know that. Girl, oh my God.
Trashy for that.
I'm about to tell you.
When she did that, that's when I was done. Because remember, I was going to give her some time. But when she made the easily triggered shirt, I was out. I mean, I was out.
It's funny. Earlier, I was listening to you say that Kiana and Crystal actually turned into someone different when the camera came on. I thought that was really interesting because I listened to an interview that Crystal did, and she said you were the person that really. She said you guys were really good friends at one point, but as soon as the camera came around, I saw a different side of you. So you were the different person. She said that y'all have been friends for years, but you've never mentioned mental health to her before. So she felt like you were presenting a new self.
I told her I was depressed. It's not my problem that she thinks mental health is a disease when really it's a category. That's not my problem. Anxiety,
that's what I was thinking.
Depression, bipolar, all of that stuff is under the mental health umbrella. Okay, so I'm not going to come to you and say I have mental health because I don't. I have depression. I have documents, okay? I have documents. Crystal turned into the defensive. I'm not accustomed to confrontation. I am trained to just speak about how great I am. Her and Kiana are singing the same song. All they want to talk about is how great they are. They're not apologetic. They're not even saying, wow, this is something. Kiana, I know somebody in your family went through something. Your mom got 7 kids. Somebody wasn't right in there. You know what I mean? Somebody wasn't right. Y'all, you said you didn't eat no food. Y'all were poor. I don't understand how y'all were that poor that you didn't have food because food stamps were very prevalent in the 80s. So a lot of their stories are trying to make them seem like either Crystal wants to be portrayed as being so uppity and perfect that she doesn't understand anything that is down there. But you want to hang out with us and you want to party with us and you want to do all kinds of other stuff. But if you're that type of friend, then that's fine. That you're that type of friend. My friend upstairs, I don't talk to her about mental health. That's not her space. It's not her space. There's not many people you could talk about that. So if I tell you as my friend that I am depressed and you choose not to go further, I'm already struggling with telling you that I am. And if you don't ask for more, I'm going to withdraw too. Like, oh shit, did I just say the wrong thing?
Right. And then she used it against you later, which really annoyed me.
But she can stretch herself to learn more about polygamy for a man.
Oh, girl, don't even get me started on the thirst there.
Counseling, it's because of men. It's not because of anything else, because everything else is functioning properly, as she has confirmed. That girl has the biggest insecurities. I mean, I already know that I was her man magnet. She'd always call me to go out because guess what? I could bring him to the yard just by walking in the door. And that's not being conceited.
No, girl, we see you.
No,
we
know. Right.
We see you in every scene. Walking in.
We do. I love when she stood up in front of camera and said, would you like to see?
It's not a bad thing.
Listen. Let her know.
It's not a bad thing.
Let her know.
You get to that age. I was so here for it. So we know.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know if you're going to work out with a friend or not, but it's unfortunate that we had to figure that out with cameras rolling. So for Crystal to say that I'm different, what was different? I'm still snappy. Was it my tears at yoga? Because if you're there with me on Saturdays, that's where I go to dump. But that pain that day was so intense, and it was because of what my instructor was saying. His voice is it. When he was doing online classes for yoga during COVID, I would just play because I couldn't like look at him because I didn't have all this equipment back then. But my phone would be like perched up on the floor. So I couldn't do my yoga and look at him, but I would just listen to him. Coleman is a different animal. Okay. He is a different animal. And I have learned so much, and I've gotten so much more calm being around him these last 5 years. This has been a 5-year practice with him. I don't see him as much as I want to because he doesn't do weekday classes anymore. And now he's only restricted to just Saturdays in the summer and the spring. But if I needed him, I could have him come over here and give me a lesson. But it's just different. This is, in the house is not where I get I gotta be in the grass.
Space.
Outside. I hear the trees rustling. I see the seasons change. The yoga touches all of my senses. When I'm there, it literally feels like I'm a bird and I'm floating above everything. It's so, I'm light when I'm there. I just got chill bumps all up my legs trying to give you a word for how I'm feeling. But yeah, I've been to overeducated psychiatrists and psychologists. I got a drawer full of prescription drugs that I've been taking with me everywhere I go since 2014, afraid that one day I might need them. They're all expired, but I haven't thrown them away. But I have taken an interest in cannabis, CBD, and mushrooms, the albino white. Okay, girl.
Listen.
I never heard of those.
I never heard of the albino white. Yeah.
Okay. Remember I told y'all, remember when I that time I told y'all I had and I was tripping out? Yeah. Okay. Because I honestly have done shrooms a couple of a few times.
I'm obsessively playing with my hair. I'm sorry. The camera is backwards and I can't fix it the right way.
I get that. I get that. You look good though. You look good though.
Either way.
Yeah, it's giving. It's definitely it's giving what it's supposed to give. But I totally feel you on that. Like anxiety level, like I definitely, love my Mary. And then with the shrooms, honestly, like one time, actually it was last Valentine's Day. No lie. Last Valentine's Day. We was in this bitch tripping out, and it felt like the longest night of my life. But after I had clarity about something that I didn't understand at first. It's so funny. I was actually watching Erica De Niro today, another YouTuber, and she was explaining what I figured out that day about how I'm so in tune to other people's feelings, and it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. And
much.
Yes. And while I was on the trip, like I'm constantly being conscious of my husband walking around the house. And then I'm also in my mind, like, is he going to flip out? Is he okay? And so I realized in that, situation that I was doing that too much in life. And I had to stop doing that. And after that, I really did change the way I would handle our relationship. Stop being so in tune to his feelings that I start to ignore my own. And that's what I would do a lot. So doing that really unlocked that for me. And I was able to move back. And I wish y'all could see all of the nice things the nigga gets me now that I have,
We see him. We be bringing drinks on camera.
I'm just saying, it definitely was like what we needed. So girl, we're so here.
Have y'all watched Fantastic Fungi yet on Netflix? It's a must see. They're going to break down the mushroom all the way to the mycelium underneath the ground, okay? The trip, okay, so you know how when your phone is not working, they tell you to turn it off, turn it on, right? When something else is not working, they may tell you to unplug it and plug it back in. Well, we never unplug our brains, ever. The mushroom is a reset. There are people in this world that microdose. They take a teeny tiny bit every day with their orange juice. I microdose, okay? But I don't need it every day. But when I found out, and you can ask my yoga instructor, he was still teaching at LA Fitness. It was wintertime, and we were getting in our cars, and I went over to him and I said, hey, do you know anybody that has the mushroom? Because I've been reading. Listen, ladies, I have been trying to figure out how to reprogram this. I know I'm too aggressive. I know I'm too emotional or passionate. I know people identify that as being angry. I know. So I've been in search of a way to control it and calm it. I thought meditation would have done it, but no, meditation taught me something different. Okay. But I started reading about psilocybin, and I just didn't know where to get it from, right? I also found out that back in the 70s, the FDA began a study. But then in the 80s, cocaine hit and the war on drugs began. So the book on mushrooms closed. The mushroom is the beginning and the end of all life. And if you watch this movie, you are
What is it again? What's the name of it?
Fantastic Fungi. A scientist named Paul Stamets, who worked in the woods as a teenager, started studying mushrooms because he was in the woods for so long. Yeah, he put out this documentary on Netflix. I mean, it is colorful. They've got doctors, scientists. They go under while you watch.
You just gave me something for me and my husband to watch when we done with this interview, girl.
Oh, check it out. I don't even.
And then I also want you to, ASAP Rocky does a segment on, he calls it, what does he call it? He calls it the old word acid. He calls it acid, but talks about the first time he went on a trip. And it is so hilarious. But there are documentaries on Netflix that people need to really understand. So I do take hella vitamins in the morning, and I do natural herbs. I take ashwagandha in my tea. People say I need to go sit with a therapist. No, I don't. I need to learn how this operates and what it requires. And I have been doing that. And I've been on such a great journey. I still don't have the certificate that says I'm healed yet, so don't try me. But I'm working towards it, and I like the journey. It feels good.
Out, like just the whole thing. Yes.
It feels good, because I'm going to tell you, there were mornings that I couldn't even get up out of the bed, and I would just be staring at the ceiling, and my ears would be full of tears. As I opened my eyes in the morning to start my day, I wouldn't even get out the rest of the day. That's it. I would wake up like that. There is definitely a missing component, okay? When you have good credit and you got good, everything else is in line. Your closets are cleaned out. You're working on yourself. Your family is good. Stacked some coins. A man would be nice to have, to hold, to feel. Not desperate for one, though. Like some of our cast members are. They feel very inadequate when they don't have it. Super inadequate that they, that's why their therapist is there. But they would call me at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I knew when she was drunk. I knew when she was about to talk that talk. I mean, again, not having a man is huge for her.
I could tell.
Huge for her.
That's why whenever y'all were talking at Kiana's dinner, she said, "You expect me to chase you like you give me
you giving me peen,"
and
which was so weird.
For that to be on the forefront of her mind lets me know that she would only tolerate disrespect if
from a man
penis was attached to it.
And she
at least.
And you can tell she does. She's thinking about being poly because the man she likes is poly, not because she wants to be poly. Like when she said that shit, I was like, girl, what type of insecure bitch shit is this?
Oh, but she's not insecure at all. She's all the way put together. And look, we're all
girl. Crystal is glass as far as I'm concerned. Maybe because I'm the type of person that I am, but Crystal is glass. Crystal clear. She's glass to me.
See through, girl.
See through. But you can't tell her that. And so, I mean, people didn't understand the dynamic of the friendship. I hope you do now. I don't have a friendship with her, and I'm really not interested in it. I'll learn to be organized by looking at YouTube, girl, okay?
Yeah.
I've been getting better with it anyway. Like,
And TikTok too.
and TikTok, and it's like, it's just because I'm overwhelmed with the show and with the business. And yes, I've tried to hire people, but I'm not the right fit. So they don't last. You know, a lot of people are too soft for my personality, or they don't know enough. And I'm good for helping out stray cats. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm always trying to help somebody. I'm always trying to put somebody on. And sometimes they lack the basic skills, but I'll always be willing to train and show them. But I can't keep doing that. And that's my weakness, you know. But again, I'm not trying to build this big conglomerate. I don't want to be up every morning and have to be dressed at a certain time. I enjoy waking up. My mornings are fabulous, you know. Jump in the shower, condition my hair, slather on some coconut oil, sit in the sun all day long on my balcony and work. Why? Because the sun greets me every day. Like, the location is plays an important role in how you feel in the morning. And that's why moving to the city and waking up with a city view outside my bedroom it couldn't get any better. But
Robin, I have a question for you.
yeah.
I love that we're having this conversation. Look at you playing well in the sandbox with Ooh Ladies First Panel.
Okay,
But
come on.
I love that we're in this positive space.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know if it was just me. When I was watching the show, I felt like they withheld the fact that your relationships with women in your family were in a better place until after the chaotic dinner scene. Did you find that the timing of that was very weird? It seemed as though before you met with the women, the storyline was you were upset about your childhood. You know, you had these fractured relationships that would aid to you having fractured relationships with the women. And it wasn't until after that we found out that your family relationship was much better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with you. I think they did the best they could with that because they were trying to figure out a way to bring in the family. And it wasn't only because we all had birthdays in the same month and everybody was celebrating something that they used that celebration for me. But yeah, I think that they were a little harsh with it. Like, some of the things I said were probably a little harsh, you know, and maybe pinched the people that were directly involved in the pain, you know. But it wasn't to beat anybody over the head. It was just that was the reality, you know. That's just what it was. You did what you did. And you know, there's so much more. It goes so much deeper, but I don't even know that the audience is ready for the rest of it because it's so deep and so graphic, and it'll probably like hurt my family. Like, I realize that that's enough. That's y'all. That's enough of you getting anything off of my family. We're done with that. I think we're going to be done with that for now. If they're going to keep it on this type of journey, once it gets more positive, then yes. But we're not going to drag. I'm not going to drag my mom. All right. My mom said you have to leave at 16. That's what caused our wedge. Okay. That was valid. My little sister, my mother put her away. So we lost touch. And then she got caught up in the streets, let's just say. And I raised her daughter for her. You know, I already had my 2 kids. So really I had 3, you know, and my niece is my ace, like, till this day. She's such a better woman because I'm around, and she tells me all the time, you know, I take my family on vacations. The show didn't say that. I mean, I just took my sister to Jamaica in May. Last year before COVID, I took my mom to Destin. I flew everybody to come in to hang out at my house for 30 days. Like, I'm a giver. I don't work for me. I work to stack money so I can give them memories because we weren't able to make them. There was a gap. There was a time gap, and it happened a few times. But, you know, I don't fault my mom. On Thanksgiving, I had a talk with her, and she told me that she doesn't really remember that stuff, you know, because my dad was abusive. you know. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be alive.
Her perspective is different from yours because of what she was going through in the moment. And I think I get that because I think for a lot of us as kids, it's hard for us sometimes when our parents have handled us wrong. It's hard for us to see that they had a reason. Even if it doesn't feel good, but there was still a reason that we just didn't understand in the moment.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. My mother said that she doesn't remember a lot of stuff from back then because when she tries to go back in time, all she sees is the trauma. So she blocks it out. And when you block out trauma, sometimes you block out other things that happened. So, I mean, we cried, we talked, and we're good. I mean, I just treated everybody again to an Airbnb. I want to hang with them. I want to be in the same house with them. You know what I mean? So every time I do something for them, we're all there. And I got an Airbnb by the waterfront for Thanksgiving, and everybody congregated there. And it was my dad acted up a little bit, but whatever. I think he'll always just be that way. But my mother enjoyed it. We went out for her birthday. We went shopping in the mall. Like, we just kicked it. We smoked. I'm coming out with a CBD line. Yay. I got offered.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I brought some samples home to my mom, and they like to drink, but the CBD replaced the alcohol for that weekend. And it was fun. Alcohol makes people mean. The CBD does not. Ask Crystal if I drink. She'll tell you I don't. Because when I drink, before I was able to unload all of this, I would be very mean and very nasty and very ready to like knock if you buck, kind of. So I just put the liquor away because that's the 50% of my dad that lives inside of me. And the 50% of my mom is the passion that she just couldn't fight for. She didn't know how. I have that. So I have both. I have my dad's aggression and my mother's extreme passion. And my mom is very proud of us coming up, which was different, that we were fighters and we were all girls. But in her mind, we threw punches she couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's why she'd be like, my girls will whip everybody's ass. I'd be like, why are you saying that? Like, we don't do that no more.
Right. But it's because she couldn't.
Because she couldn't.
Yeah.
She couldn't. And Crystal tried to bring my mother up at the reunion, and I wanted to cut her head off. But anyway,
There was a reunion.
Well, thanks confirming, because that was a question. Yeah,
Okay,
we were wondering if it was going to be a reunion. Ooh.
We are
and
excited.
not for bringing your mom up on the show.
Yeah.
And Robin, we have to have you back to talk.
We are after the reunion. We have to talk this.
There's so much more to say.
There is so much more to say. Honestly, you have answered like a lot of our questions before we can even ask you.
I'm sorry.
No, we love it. We love
organic conversation, meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
Yes, girl, I cried during this interview. This has been fantastic for me.
I was like, please. I was sitting here saying, please, Robin, don't make me cry for the first time on this panel.
Girl, it happened to me.
Okay.
That was my first time crying.
Girl,
it happened.
Let me just.
I'm sorry
because these lashes will fall off.
Don't apologize. It was real. It was real.
It was.
To be able to resonate, to be able to see your transparency, your realness, and you wanting to be in a positive space. That was real. I could feel it through the screen.
And that's what I love about this interview so much, because if they didn't get to see this side of you on television, they're definitely going to be able to see this vulnerable side of you in this interview. So We really do appreciate it. Is there anything, anything you got that you're on, anywhere that people can follow you on social media as we close out the interview, coming up on 2 hours? This was great, y'all, but go, Robin.
Yes. So y'all can find me at Robin Sells Atlanta on Instagram. And I will be having a CBD line coming out, and hopefully it helps women who are addicted to other drugs. Anxiety, depression, bipolar, any type of a mental health umbrella. I'm going to try to create something that makes them feel good. Maybe my family has, God, I keep saying that. I'm sorry to keep saying that, but it's not even about me. So just know that I am going to continue on this mental health journey, and I hope that others hop on board with me. I'm partnering with Front Row Yogi. We're having a big event Memorial Day weekend in Atlanta, and we are going to show all the Black people on the mats, because that's where we go. That's our repair shop.
Okay, so listen,
Do we
that's
need
around
to-
my birthday.
we
So
need to come
like,
through?
I'm about to tell you, that's just a little quick 6-hour drive. So
Come
I
on.
will come.
And I'm already in Atlanta.
Let me just tell you, it would be so amazing to have you all in the space, and you will feel what I get from that session. It'll be a little different because it's the first one, and we also partner with Impulse ATL. And I'm probably going to say the letters wrong, so I'm not even going to try it. But our gay community is in full effect, and they sponsor classes. We went from 8 people to like 90 people on the mat.
Wow.
Outside in the park, spread out. Coleman has microphone, the music, he has all of that. Everything gets touched. That man will pierce your soul. Okay.
I would love to come.
Which part?
Piedmont.
Is that Piedmont? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta go, Jamie.
So I'm not everywhere.
I want y'all to come.
Instagram. I do respond still to my own social media, and just want women around the world to understand that I come in peace. I've always only came in peace, but when I see something, I'm calling it. And you can't label someone crazy because they see things before some other people see them. Okay. All right.
Say it again.
I call it vision and having some depth about yourself to pick up on those vibes that are always not so positive. Crystal and I were not always in the same room all the time, so I never really had a chance to pick up on vibes. It was always a fun thing, a closing, a dinner. You know what I mean? It was never. Right. We've never been in this type of situation ever. Do I wish that it didn't go this far? Yes, of course, but it did. And the real thing is, how do we handle it? Do we come back together again? And do we try to understand each other's, faults, and understand that it's not something that you just fix and erase? That would be like white people telling Black people to just get over it.
Right.
Our culture, it has suffered from generations of mistreatment, but it has a root, right? And it's going to take many, many years before racism is gone, if it's ever, because I just found out it's in the metaverse now, which is some weird shit. But
that don't surprise me. That's the algorithm.
Huh?
It's the algorithm. It's the same. The algorithm is racist. So it only makes sense that once you guys make the metaverse, that it would also reflect those same
it's crazy.
Values.
Yeah. I mean, I want Ladies Who List Atlanta to come back with a season 2. I wish we could come back with a full, complete cast who is more truthful, more compassionate, and more honest with themselves. Because if we did, and when we do, our idea could be phenomenal and it could take off. But maybe it shouldn't take off to some because it's not their idea.
Do you know when we will find out if it's going to be a season 2?
I'm waiting.
We hope you do, because we have loved the show. It has definitely been gratifying in a lot of different ways that I did not expect. So we really want to see you guys back even if it's with, different people, but we hope we see you there.
For
I
sure.
already told them, I was
Right.
like, look, y'all owe me now because you know what I'm saying? Y'all owe
Right.
me. And people like laugh about it, like, oh, it's the Robin show, this and that. I'm happy that it's the Robin show, and I'm sending a positive message because I'm getting this feedback every day about how I helped somebody, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And that right there is important. Nobody wants to hear how many millions you made. We're over that. That's not where we are anymore. We do not use our success to flex, and our culture does that a lot. We flex a little bit, but you flexing all the time? No.
It shouldn't only be about the flexing.
It's got
You
to
should
be,
have the heart, like you said.
it has to be. God did not, well, not God, a higher being did not take you this high for it to only just be about you. You have to give back, and you have to give back, and you have to give back. You have to create an impact. Rich white people do it all the time. They call it charity. They have parties and they donate, right? We don't got to have the party now because I already told y'all I don't need to hang out with you like that. But we do need to contribute this money, and we can do that online. I don't need to hang out with you on a Friday because it could get messy.
Wealth is not only monetary.
They're not ready to hang out with me on that level yet. Don't underestimate. Crystal used to say that her man underestimated me. It wasn't. It was her. She used to be like, well, Jason underestimates you all the time. So I don't think,
She's such a weird individual.
She wants
calculated.
Weird.
She said it herself this past episode.
She's admitted that.
Wait a minute. Before Robin goes, can we talk about the ranch scene before you go?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I think plug my phone in a little bit more. I might have to take you guys to the bedroom.
Listen, we'll go with you wherever you want to take us.
Right.
My charger is in there. Oh, wait, I won't have this light. Let me.
Okay, she gave us a little glimpse of the body. Okay.
Oh, no.
That's okay, Rob. Listen.
Hold on. Let me just get this.
Yes. Okay, come on,
I'm here for this.
All right. During this intermission, we do ask that you people go ahead and just, like the video for your girl. All right. We're going to do this real quick while Miss Robin getting it together.
Look. Man, that is crazy.
That is. I was expecting this to be as juicy as it has
It
been. We hope
is.
that you guys are enjoying it.
And my heart, I
knew it was gonna be good.
I just cannot. Talking about feelings. When I told y'all I was triggered after episode 1, y'all, story of my life. As many deep conversations as we've had on the Ooh Ladies First Panel about friendships and things like that. I think that's why it was so easy to resonate
and identify. Yes.
And now to hear about this CBD talk. I love me some CBD.
Girl, we know you Zoom.
Absolutely.
We know you Zoom.
Oop, her phone died.
No, I took her out for a second so she can.
Oh, okay.
Right, because we may have to edit this up. I am so enjoying this conversation, and it's crazy because it's like I was telling Lyric earlier. I said I'm definitely gonna be like hitting her phone up about the real estate because it's something I've been talking about for a while, and it's something I really want to do. And when she was explaining, we got to see that scene of her and the YouTubers whose names I'm always forgetting, but shout out to them because I see myself in them. And her talking to them and them saying how much they learned in the process. I feel like I learned a lot, but it wasn't because somebody was like trying to teach me anything. It was because we just had to learn from experience, you know what I'm saying, of what was just happening, So I really love that she talked about that. on the show, and it made me feel like, and plus when I talked to her, she was like, here's my number, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. And it made me, it validated how I felt about seeing her on the show. Like from day one, I was like, I know everybody gonna be mad, but I like her.
I like her too. Right out the gate.
Yeah, I liked her from day one.
Her side. Right out the gate. Yeah, absolutely.
But we could see what it was being set up to look like.
Absolutely.
And we all four of us had separately saw that.
Yeah,
that's what was interesting.
Okay, I can't see if my phone is taking this charge or not. It's weird. And I don't have any of my supplies. Like, I don't understand where everything is. I usually keep a charger right here on my tray. But anyway, you want to talk about the ranch real quick?
We want to talk about
we won't keep you long. We know you don't have much of a charge.
But
yes.
For the record, I did not know that Kiana was struggling with fertility. In fact, I thought that was the funniest shit ever because I don't believe it.
Oh,
what made you doubt?
Doubt that she wants to have a child?
Right, or your disbelief? What was it?
I felt like it was a storyline. I feel like that she had to come up with something to soften the blow because now we're filming, right? So you know what you filmed. You know that you're going to look like an instigator in episode 1. A fire starter in episode 1, instigator in episode 2, instigator some more in episode 3.
She said in an interview that production was trying to clean it up.
Rich auntie. Girl.
Oh, she said that today?
Yeah. You want to be a rich auntie today? So you don't want to be a mother no more. So it doesn't bother you anymore? I just know I'm a saleswoman. And so is she. And sometimes when the deal ain't going good, you have to pull on the heartstrings of people. Okay, so let's just apply that to real life and let's apply that to this TV show and let's apply that. I could be wrong, but until somebody proves me wrong, I'm going to leave that option open for this to not be a real situation.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, because look at the body language at the doctor's office. Like, just look at things that were not there, like tears.
Honestly, her husband seems slightly withdrawn in some of the scenes, which and we've learned this from watching other shows, that a lot of the times that is because they're just going along with whatever is being done for the show because they're there to support. So whatever needs to be done, that's what we're doing.
But you heard her husband too when she asked him about the money. He was like, "It's business."
He did.
Yes, that's exactly what we said.
He
did. Listen, at the ranch, she didn't want to be there. She came with that mean mug and that whole outfit like she was ready to kill some rats. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? You got a holster, you got all this stuff, you got heels on, and we went to ride horses and be chill and be cool. And I was told, ask about Tiffany. And I was like, why? And they was like, just do it. Like, they had to, every time they asked me to ask about another cast member, I was uncomfortable with it. And I don't even know how much I'm supposed to tell you or how much I'm not supposed to tell you. But at this point, it is what it is. Because they've been doing a lot of talking and no one's saying anything to them. So I didn't know about the infertility. I was just told, talk with Tiffany about Crystal. And then when I had dinner with Crystal with the yellow hat that I wore with the red brim, they was like, talk about Tiffany. I didn't want to go to that filming with Crystal. I said I wasn't going. I had wanted to stop filming with her altogether. And they was just like, well, then who are you going to film with? You don't want to film with Kiana. You don't want to film with Kyra. You don't want to film with Crystal. You don't want to film with, like, what are we going to do with you? And I'm like, kill me off. I I said, kill me off. I was already done. So for them to wait until all these episodes come out and now they want to complain about the network and about, that's not cool and that's not right. You knew exactly what you were doing. Y'all are educated, calculated, super uber smart. You repeat it all the time to everybody. You weren't tricked. You weren't tricked. You knew what you was doing. You just
wasn't a part of their plan.
Okay.
So what do you want to know about the ranch?
How you felt in that moment when Kiana immediately came at you for saying something that wasn't about her?
I was like, oh, somebody appears to be triggered. Do we continue to poke at it? Or do we respectfully try to tell you we were not directing any of this conversation to you? You know damn good and well I was having a side conversation with Tiffany, but you were standing right there. You could have been with Tiana on a horse. But I don't know if they told her to be right there because this is a story and they are setting up a scene. But at that point, I mean, I'll tell you how it ended. She ran off crying into her truck that sped off, and I didn't see the tears. I just heard them. I heard what sounded like you might be crying, or trying to cry, but I didn't see no tears. With a group of girls, you getting all emotional and soft, but you want to get in your car and run. Why? So we don't start asking you questions about why you're so sad, or why this is bothering you. We're here for support, but you don't want it.
To me, it did seem like she just wanted to have an issue, much like at the little dinner that you had, where it was like we keep circling back around to the same thing. So it's like, does it even matter what I'm saying to you, or do you just want to have a problem?
She just wants to have a problem. According to Crystal, Kiana has a deep-rooted something for me. Something? What is it? What's the something?
I mean, can I say that I already feel like it's the same thing with Crystal, and that's probably what Kiana and Crystal have bonded over? Because is their friendship recent? Because it seems recent, but they seem to look at you like the girl, like whenever there's a woman who's only cool with the men and they can hang with the guys, there's always like this group of women that have to be like, I can't stand a bitch that always won't be around the men. Why you won't be around my man all the time? Like they're always in the mindset of thinking that you're about to like snatch their man like from them.
Threat.
Yes, a threat. And to me, it's almost like I'm gonna befriend this person so I can keep them close to me so that I can find out if this is who they really are. And both Kiana and Crystal seem to have done that with you, where they formed a friendship with you and then found out it was beneficial to them, business-wise, but still formed a relationship with you based off of the men that you were already friends with, that they were in relationships with.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I met Kiana's husband before I met her too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
and yes, that's right.
Staying in an Adidas tracksuit. Let's talk about that.
I mean, I feel like it's obvious, even though you are older, you don't present in that way. And it's very obvious that, you are in shape and beautiful. And yes. I feel like y'all thought that. Y'all were definitely like, oh, I got to keep my eye on her. But it's good to know her. It's good to be cool with her because we're all in this business, but I got to keep my eye on her. So enemies close type situation. That's what it feels like from both of them.
I said that. And in Kiana's interview, she was like, I don't understand if their friendship was based on a premise of, I don't understand. Well, obviously, I didn't know that that's what it was based upon. Looking back at hindsight, I'm telling you, now that I know that Crystal is insecure about everything, I mean, her tactics were what I was doing in like my early 20s. That she's still doing those kinds of things, Listen, she be keeping a whole stalker profile on girls. I was on her list. She had to be my when he introduced me to her and she saw me, she was probably like, oh hell no.
Exactly.
Oh hell no. I'm going to make it a point to keep you around at all costs. I was around because she was afraid of my power. That's all. And then it evolved. So it was never based on anything. There was no foundation. That's why it crumbled so easily.
So when did she break up? Was that the guy she was with for 5 years that she was talking about? Your friend? Okay, so they just broke up recently.
That no, I'm not allowed to say his name. They broke up in 2019.
Okay. Because she was talking to Kyra and saying that she had just recently got out of a relationship just like Kyra did.
It was.
But it wasn't recent. Okay. Okay. But yeah, no, I definitely see that as the reason for the friendship. It's just weird that she's always saying things like, to me, what she's saying is don't sympathize with Robin because you don't really know her. See, I know her and I know that she doesn't deserve for you to sympathize with her. So stop. Like whenever she's talking about Tiffany understanding your point of view, like that's what it felt like. She kept saying, oh, that's my friend. Like, what does that have to do with this? Like, obviously a stranger is understanding your friend more than you are, supporting your friend more than you are. Why are you not hearing that? You know?
So, she's very, very weird. She's weird. She's very.
That conversation you guys had at the beginning of this last episode, I'm curious to know like what you were feeling because it almost seemed like, okay, I'm making up with her, but it's just because I'm tired of arguing with her.
Oh, I made up with her just for the cameras. I was over it. At Kiana's party, I did not want to go outside. I didn't. I did not want to go outside. And I didn't want to have to spend $250 on that coat either when I found out that they were going to put us outside. I had somebody go to Phipps Plaza and buy it that day. I was like, buy me something black because we're going to be outside and it's getting cold. And I had that little outfit on. But truth be told, we were told to come to that dinner because we were doing a photo shoot and they wanted sexy and hot. And then we brought a second outfit to change into for Kiana's party. But at that moment, I didn't care to change.
You looked good, girl. That jacket was everything.
And go outside because my other dress was even smaller. It was like feathers, like all feathers, and it was champagne and it was short. I'd have been out there like this, you know.
Right.
They needed the scene to be outside. I didn't like how they had Kiana mothering the situations all the time. I'm like, this bitch started everything.
Yes.
Why not allowed to look cross-eyed at her party, but she can be at everybody else's event stirring the pot. Like, why are you guys giving her the superior role? I don't like it. First of all, I ain't her child. Bitch, back up. Don't tell me what to do. The one thing I do know how to do is compose myself when it's one-on-one. But when it's a full-on attack, I'm backing up. I'm looking for the door, and I'm trying to figure out who I'm swinging on first.
And you know what, Robin? Like, I was gonna ask because I wanted to know your thoughts. If you felt like, what's her name? Miss Kiana always wants the standard. It seems to be a bit different for her, as far as like her being like her wanting to be off the show at this point because I guess she's not getting the publicity that she wants. But in addition to that, it's like she can go to people's party, cut up. But then when y'all come to her party, she don't want nobody to do the same thing.
It's like this party.
She wants the standard to be different for her.
Listen, she wanted it to be the Kiana show. That's how, you know, it was supposed to be.
That's how I feel.
It was supposed to be the Kiana show, and it didn't turn out to be that way. And I'm not sure why, but my light just died. It could just be gone. So I'm going to stand over here. She wanted it to be the Kiana show, and it just didn't happen that way.
Okay.
But the ranch was supposed to be fun. I was looking forward to horseback riding. It was going to be amazing. I really liked the company of Tiffany and Tiana. I was hoping that Kiana would come around at some point and see my value and see that I was genuine and loyal and trustworthy. And she really does need a friend like me in her corner because the people that she has in her corner are not the best, but she doesn't know how to give a friendship either. She just knows how to, we're collectibles for her too. So her and Crystal are like the perfect match. Have value to them if you're not making money with them. And they don't know how to be a true friend. If you think calling me out to have dinner and drinking champagne and talking about like surface stuff is being a good friend. It's not. Being a good friend is with those categories I told you about. If I get in trouble, you could bail me out. If I'm going through something at home, you can help me out. Like that kind of stuff. Those are real friends. Those are real friends. And Kiana and Crystal were not that. They just were not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, I was about to say, do we
anything
have any other questions that we could think of in a moment before we
I-
let her go?
look, I'm trying to think. I can't.
Ooh,
I feel like she
come
gave
on,
us so
View.
much. You got another one?
Come on, View.
Oh,
Come on, View.
yes.
Oh, that is nasty.
Yes, she's giving us a view. She said she
I
would.
love it. Come on,
This
Necey,
is
come back in just in
beautiful.
time. Come back just in time.
I did come back just in time. I had some technical difficulties.
I just wanted to show you that really quick because that's a large part of my self-care we talked about.
Yeah.
People think self-care means I got to be doing something, but no, that's my nothing and just sit out there, and it's so beautiful. And if we talk during the day, you'll get to see it too. I loved talking to you guys.
We love talking to you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Listen, after that,
talking to adults tonight, you know.
Oh, come on. Listen, after the reunion, you absolutely have to come back because we're going to have a ton of more questions for you, along with some that we didn't get a chance to ask you this time.
Right.
Please come back.
I definitely will. I enjoyed our time. I can't even believe we've been speaking for this long, but that's what happens when you have a genuine flow with others, you know. And I may have made the mistake by saying I don't get along with women because I did not ever mean all women. You know, it's just not my first preference. If you go to a wedding and they say chicken or steak and you always choose steak, but sometimes you got to choose chicken, well, okay, but it's not your favorite. I prefer to speak with women who understand where I'm coming from. It's just easier. I don't spend the whole day explaining myself.
Right.
Because you get it.
Right.
With them, I have to explain myself, you know, so.
Right. Can you tell the people one more time where they can find you on social media, Robin, before you go?
Yes, you can find me on my Instagram page at Robin Sells Atlanta.
Perfect.
That's
perfect.
It. And my
go ahead.
page for my business is Sell Atlanta. You can read about our business. We have 1,800 photos over there. We've got over 100 reviews that are really, really stellar. And we're a force to be reckoned with here in Atlanta when it comes to real estate. People talk to me and then they turn into my friend instantly. But I'm filming this show with these ladies and they just can't seem to like me. It's not me, it's them.
And there's that.
We see it.
Thank you so much, Robin. We hope that you go on and you enjoy the rest of your night. We shall talk with you soon.
Yes,
thank you so much.
I'm coming back.
Please
You
do.
will.
And,
you
and don't forget, we want to come to the yoga in Atlanta.
Oh, in May.
So drop deep.
Yes.
I'll keep you posted. Follow Front Row Yogi in the in-between time because he could be dropping some information there as well.
Okay, I will do that.
He's wonderful.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you, Robin.
Have a great night.
Bye. Please have a good one.
Bye.
All right, you guys, please be sure to follow all of the ladies of Ooh Ladies First Panel. Okay, be sure if you have any questions or anything you would like to be interviewed. Okay, if you are part of the shows that we review, okay, go ahead and send us an email. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Ooh Ladies First. Also, you can find all of the ladies on all social media platforms at our name. You have Bondy Blue, Jay Warner, who is not here with us tonight, but she will be here on Thursday. Okay, me, that's me, which happens to be me, and Miss Necey Dixon. Okay, and shout out to Necey because Necey did hit that 10K just on P. But I just wanted to say that. Okay, we're about to go ahead and close out the show, you guys. Thank you all so much for being here with us, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.